In this lecture, let's see how to use the centroid function provided by D3's arc generator to add some labels at the center of each segment. So in the previous lectures, we have been seeing how to use the arc generator function by providing inner radius, outer radius, start angle and end angle to create circles, annulus or arcs. That is sections of circles or annulus. We have also seen how to use pad angle and pad radius functions to decide the spacing between different segments, and also corner radius to make rounded corners. So in this section we are going to see how to use the centroid function, which will return the center position to label the segments. So let's see that. This is the same code that we have written in the previous lecture to have different segments in the same circle and also to have spacing between them using pad angle and pad radius, and also corner radius to have rounded corners. Now we need to have text values for each of these segments at the center. So suppose these 5 segments represent data of the week. That is, suppose this is some sales data from Monday to Saturday. So this is for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So we have 5 segments, and imagine that this is the data for Monday to Friday. So we need to have Monday for this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So within the data we can add something like day, and for that we want to display MON, that is for Monday. Like this, suppose we have from Monday to Friday. So let me copy this and let me make the changes after that. So this is Tuesday, TUE, then WED, then THU and finally FRI. So this is for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Now we need to display MON in the first segment, TUE in the second, WED in the third, THU in the fourth and FRI in the fifth. So the centroid function returns the center of each segment. That is, for this one it will be somewhere here, for this one somewhere here. Like that, it will calculate the center position of each segment, which we can use for positioning our text. So let's do that. After this, let me add where content equals. So what we need to do, we need to have text elements within this G element, because all these path elements are added within the G element. So I can specify d3.select G, then dot select all text, because we need to have 5 text elements, right? Then we need to join the data. So dot data, the data is there in the data variable. Then we need to use the enter and append. So content dot enter dot append text. Now we have appended text, which means there will be 5 text elements, and for each of these text elements we need to set the X and Y, and as the data or the text we need to set these values. So we can use the each function which will execute for each of these text values. Each is actually used to loop through an array. So here it will be returning the reference to all the text elements. So we can use the each function here, which will be applied for all these text elements, and within this I need to specify function D, then only I will get this data. Then I can calculate the value of the center position using centroid function. So let me specify where center equals. We need to calculate the center for each of these segments where we are using the arc generator function, right? So segments dot centroid, and we need to pass the D, which is the data. Now I can use this values, that is the center position, for setting the X and Y. So before that, let me just try to show you what is the value of center now. So console.log center, and let me show you that. Here, more tools, developer tools, and in console you could see 5 arrays for 5 objects. So this is the first array's value, 0 is 49.41, which is the X position, and minus 53.047 is the Y position. That is, this segment's values are given in this first array. Then we have another array. The 0 is 46.23 and 55.84. This is the X and Y coordinates for this section. Like this, we have 5 different arrays. So how we can make use of that data? Here, let me write D3 dot select this, means it will select the current text element, and we can set the X and Y values for this. So attr of X as D of 0, that is the first value is the X value. Then dot attr of Y as D of 1, and also we need to set the text. It is D dot day, because here we have specified day as the key. Hope you understand this. Actually, what we are trying to do, up to this it was already there. We have added the text or the label we want to display, and it is added as day, MON, day, TUE, like that. And here we are actually trying to add text elements, and we need to position them correctly. So all the path elements are within the G element. So I have selected D3.select G, then select all text. As of now, there is no text element, but as per the magic of D3, we just have to specify like this and then append the text elements. So here I have joined the data, and then I am specifying enter append text, which means 5 text elements will be added, and for each of these text elements we need to set the X, Y and text values. That is why we are using the each function here, which will be executed for each of these elements, and then we need to get the position. We can use the centroid function for that. So segments is the arc generator function we have used. Dot centroid of D means it will return the X and Y coordinates, and later we are using them as the X and Y values. So when we specify D3.select this here is the text element, and we are setting the X as D of 0, Y as D of 1 and text as D dot day. So here, as it is inside a loop, it will be executed for each of the text elements. Next, we need to set the color and font size, etc. for the text elements. So let us add it in the style section. So for style, let me specify for the text elements, let me set the font size as say 14px, then fill as white, and let me also set font weight as bold. Now let us save this and see the output. Okay, everything is displayed here. We are actually seeing the data, but everything is displayed here. So let us check the code. Okay, here I have specified D of 0. It is actually center of 0, right? Because here we are getting the positions inside the center variable. So I need to specify them as center of 0, and here also center of 1. If we are getting the data from D only, we can specify D of 0 and D of 1. Here the positions are there in the center variable. So let me save this and show you. See, this is the output. We are seeing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But for smaller segments, actually the text is lying outside the segment, right? For Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, they are displayed correctly. But for Wednesday and Friday, as the segments are small, they are positioned at the center. That is, the starting of the text is positioned at the center, and hence the I is displayed outside, and here the D is touching the border of this. So what we can do is, we can actually set dx value, that is the relative position. So using attr of dx, as I want to move it towards the left hand side, I am using dx, and let me try a negative value for this, minus 5px. Okay, then only it will move towards the left hand side. Let us check the output now. Okay, it has moved a bit towards the left hand side. Let me make it minus 10 and see, save. See, now they are displayed inside the segment. So as the segments were very small and the text we want to display was a bit longer, it couldn't fit into the segment correctly. That is why we had to use the dx attribute, which is doing the relative positioning. and hence it is now displayed correctly. Now this is the Monday, this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Suppose we try different angles here. That is, suppose I make this as say 0.9 and here as well start angle as 0.9. Let's see this difference. Let me save this. See, now this segment became smaller. Now this Tuesday is the largest segment, right? So you can try different start and end angles if you want. Now suppose instead of this 5.9 and 6.28, suppose I make it 5 and this as well 5, and let's see the change. Let me save this. See, now the segment's size is different. Now the second segment is too large. Now suppose instead of 3.4, if I make this as 2.4 and as well as this 2.4 and save this. See, now the segments are displayed like this. So in this lecture we have seen how to use the centroid function provided by D3's arc function to decide the center of the segment, and using that we have added labels for each segment by using the x and y coordinates here. So here we are trying something different. Using the each function we are running a loop so that it will be executed for each text element. We have specified the x and y values and also the text to be displayed, and for that we have used the centroid function.